2. How's it going, Durinde? Back with you once again, and we're playing a brand new game. Well, it's not brand new, it got released about a month ago, but it's new to me. Sid Meier's Civilization 6. Very happy to be playing this now. Of course, if you look through my channel history, I played some Civilization. I played some Sid Meier's Colonization. Still waiting for that Colonization update. But now we're at Civilization 6. So I have played about 100 turns of this so far off camera, just to make sure that A, my laptop could actually run it, B, I could actually stream or record this successfully, and C, kind of learn some of the new ins and outs of the game, because there are some major changes. It's still Civilization. There's going to be things that are going to be familiar, yet some of the mechanics are going to be very different, so we'll explore some of that together. So we're going to head into single player, and you see there's a resume game there. That's the game that I was playing for about 100 turns. I'm going to start a new game, so let's create a game with our own settings. And let's see, who do we have? We have the French, and the French have the Grand Tour, 20% production towards medieval, Renaissance, and industrial era wonders. Tourism from any wonders of any era is doubled. Catherine's Flying Squadron has a level 1 of diplomatic visibility greater than normal. That's kind of a new language to me, and their special unit is the Garde Impériale. Now, that's a pretty bad butchering of French on my part, especially since I grew up in Canada, and I took French for like 13 years. But anyway, so we got Catherine, we have Cleopatra, 15% protection towards distribution and wonders, placed next to a river. Floodplains do not block placement of districts and wonders. You have Mediterranean's Bride, your trade route to other civilizations. Provide +4 gold for Egypt. Other civilizations trade route to Egypt. Provide a +2 food modifier for them and +2 gold for Egypt. That's pretty neat. They have the Chariot Archer, and their special building is the Sphinx. We have Frederick, and they have free imperial cities. Each city can build one more district than usual, exceeding the normal limit based on population. They have the Holy Roman Emperor, additional military policy slot, and +7 combat strength when attacking city-states. They have U-boats. That's their modern unique unit. Of course, we have Gandhi, of course, from the earlier games, known as the nuclear happy Gandhi. He's got Dharma, receives follower belief bonuses from in a city from each religion that has at least one follower, so they're more of a faith-based civilization, it seems. They have the Set Yegara. I know I butchered that pronunciation. +5 faith, and they have the Varu. You have Gilgamesh, who has epic quests. When you capture a barbarian outpost, receive a tribal village reward in addition to the usual gold. Pay half the usual costs to levy city-state units. Adventures of Enkidu may declare war on anyone at war with their allies without warmongering penalties. Of course, that's one of the big things in Civilization, the whole warmongering status that you get called out for, you get denounced on, and then you pretty much ignore. They also have the War Cart. It's a Sumerian ancient era unit for movement, which is pretty good at the start of the game. They also have the Ziggurat, which produces +2 science and +1 culture if next to a river. It can be built on hills. Whoops. They also have Gorgo. It's not Goro. It's not the guy from Mortal Kombat with the 4 arms. Plato's Republic, 1 extra wildcard policy. Thermopylae, is that right? Combat victories provide culture equal to 50%. Okay, so I'm spending a little bit too much time kind of looking at the mechanics of these guys, and it would take me forever to work my way through all of these. I do tend to play a lot of Japan in other civilizations, because I do like that food bonus for building next to the ocean. Let's see if they still have that. So where's Japan? Hojo. They have the Meiji Restoration. All districts receive an additional standard adjacency bonus for being adjacent to another district. They have Divine Wind. Land units received plus strength combat in land tiles adjacent to a coast. Naval units receive plus 5 combat strength. Shelved waters build encampment holy site theaters in half the time. They have Samurai, and they also have an electronics factory. So there doesn't seem to be like the same food bonus for building next to the ocean that there was in earlier games. But hey, it's a new game. It's going to be a new experience. So let's try Hojo, and let's start things off on Prince. It's not the easiest. It's not the hardest. It's kind of middle of the road. Since I've played some Civilization before, you know, it should be okay for me to play on this level. But I don't know. Let's play with a standard game. We'll go with continents, and we'll go with a small map, sure. What's the advanced setup? Okay, you can add AI players, and you can change all sorts of roles. We won't get into that so much. So let's start the game and listen to Sean Bean.
Of life beneath water, to the great beasts of the Stone Age, to man taking his first upright steps, you have come far. Now begins your greatest quest. From this early cradle of civilization on towards the stars. The great wave of Buddhism follows you, Shikan of Japan, Hojo Tokimun. Your people truly understand what it is to practice balance, and even your finest samurai will be well learned and spiritually apt. Be strong, embrace the divine wind, and you will reach enlightenment.
Okay, so it will take a little while for the game to load in. Of course, Sean Bean is the narrator for this game. I forget who narrated Civ 5. I know Civ 4 was Leonard Nimoy, and one of my favorite parts of Civ 4 actually was when you researched, I forget which technology, I think it might have been rocketry or something like that, and you have Leonard Nimoy quoting Sputnik, the whole beep, beep, beep. That was, I found that pretty hilarious. So yes, we are playing as Japan. You'll notice the aesthetic is a little bit different. They went with a more stylized look for the leaders. It's not super realistic or anything. It works, I guess, on a certain level. It's kind of reminds me more of what you see in maybe like a mobile game or something like that, or Civ Revelations, which was on the consoles last era. So anyway, we can begin our game, and here we are. Let's see what's different about Civ 4 so far. So up here we do have our science per turn, our culture per turn, our faith per turn, your gold per turn, and you also have an envoy. That's new to us. Envoys, from what I understand, what I've learned from playing so far, they interact with city-states, and you get bonuses depending on how many envoys you send to those city-states. You have view reports, which is kind of your standard output totals, your Excel spreadsheet, so to speak. You have turn 1, 40,000 BC. This is kind of the funniest thing I found. They have the time listed in the game. So there's no longer the fact that you're exiting civilization and you're looking at the clock and it's suddenly 2 in the morning. You can keep track and be like, oh, I've been playing for 3 hours. Maybe I should take a little bit of a break or not. But I find that they have the time up there, and it's fairly obvious, kind of funny. That's us. We have world rankings, which we should be pretty much tied for. I'm leading everything, though. We have a tribal village discovered. Of course, the tribal villages have been around since the earliest civilization. We have basically your skip turn button right here, and we do have our settler. Now, we are bordering a river. There are diamonds here, and that's pretty neat. We do have some woods. These seem to be hills. Are they hills? Yes, they're hills, so they should provide extra production if it's anything like the other civilizations. Yep, they do, and we do have more diamonds over there. We do have some stone up there, which would be a nice production boost if we actually get that tile. So I think I will build right here. I know some people, and I think it's a lot of people's strategy to actually go around and find that kind of perfect spot for starting your city. I'm not going to play that way. I'm just going to build my first building. And we have Kyoto, and we also have our first unit, which is a warrior. So what can you do? Give you orders. We can set you to automatically explore. There we go. Before I do that, though, I just want to see where this tribal village is. It's up there. Okay, so let's send our warrior to visit this tribal village. You'll also notice that there's kind of the sneak fog of war mechanic. Yeah, things kind of fade out on the edge and they turn into kind of a stylized map view. Unexplored areas are pretty much the same. You do have kind of ships and stuff around, and sometimes you'll see like there be dragons type art on like these little bits. That's kind of neat. We know that there's a mountain in the distance. Let's choose our initial production. And can we do anything with these diamonds yet? Requires mining, so that may be something that we're going to be rushing in terms of science. But let's build our monument and start pumping out culture. Let's choose our research. Well, we do have a couple things that we can take advantage of if we know how to mine. So let's research mining. And we'll end our first turn. So yeah, the aesthetic's a little bit different. Like I said, a little bit cartoonier. Now, keep in mind, I don't have a beast of a system or anything like that, so I do have the graphic settings fairly low, and part of that's to improve the experience in terms of frame rate and stuff for recording and streaming. Okay, so our warriors picked us up some extra gold. Let's just take a look around the periphery and see what we will come up against in this game of Civilization 6. We are 11 turns away from growing our first city, and we're producing that monument. Lots of diamonds, actually, and they're a luxury resource, so haven't done much with the luxury resources in Civ 6. Like I said, I've only played about the first 100 turns. If it's anything like the other games, you would use those for trade to increase your population happiness. And speaking of population, as soon as this turn ends, I want to show you something different. So this is kind of like your city kind of preview overlay thing. So you have this thing called, you have buildings now. It shows you how many buildings you have. We just have one building right now. You have religious citizens, keeps track of that. You have amenities. What I understand from what I've gathered through gameplay, I may be actually wrong about this. This is kind of like what keeps your people happy. And you also have a housing capacity, which is different. So you have buildings and such that will increase this housing capacity. If you bump up against that, the growth of your city will indeed slow down. You also may notice that instead of a single kind of research track, there's a couple of things. So this is our science one. Of course, I set it up to research mining. You see down here, Code of Laws, which was pure scientific research in other civilization. Well, they do have what's this called again? It's a kind of a policy research track, and once you have this research, you can start enacting policies. And the way that this civilization does it, it's a little bit different. So I'll show you a little bit more about that later. So let's set our warrior on to automatically explore the region. We do have Mercury down here, which also requires mining. I guess we're going to be a mining-heavy civilization. I don't mind that in the slightest. See, there's a little pun for you today. Tuck that in the back of your brain. And now anytime anybody says the word mine to you, you can use that and impress your friends, your relatives, your coworkers. People love puns. They don't, really. Well, they say that they don't, but they actually do. I mean, who doesn't love a little bit of good wordplay? If such a thing exists as good wordplay. Eureka! The villagers share a hidden technical secret. So our knowledge of irrigation has advanced considerably. That's kind of different from the older civilizations, where they would just give you kind of a free technology. Here, they're saying, okay, when you research this, you're going to have a little bit of a advantage researching it because it's received a boost. We'll hit continue. And looks like we've met somebody. Holy crap, missus. Look at the eyes on her.
They will reward us
And they call you Iris. Okay, city-state mayors. We can press them. They will reward us. Can we talk to them? Hello? Salut? City-state reports. Levy military. Oh, we can take control of their military units. That's different. Have we sent an envoy? Yes, we have. What do they have for quests? Construct an encampment district, and we'll receive an additional envoy. So, hey, it's Toronto! Awesome! I don't really, as a Canadian, I don't really think of Toronto as a city-state, but hey, whatever. Toronto, and they do have the Canadian flag there. That's, or the maple leaf at least there. It's not really shouldn't be orange, but hey, whatever. So yeah, you'll see the kind of bonuses as you send envoys to these guys. Okay, so we get an extra production in the capital when producing wonders, buildings, and districts. Neat. So we'll close that out. So yeah, the interaction with the city-states are a little bit different. And okay, we're the first major civilization to meet them, so we've gained an envoy. That's kind of cool. And it is Toronto. That's so neat. We do have a barbarian encampment down here that we may try to take out.
The wife of a coal miner. Who deserves more credit than the wife?
I found out you could do that while I was playing last time. That you could make him repeat it and almost do a rap.
Who deserves more credit? Who deserves more credit than the wife of a coal miner?
All right, so that unlocked mining for us. Now, another major difference with civilization are the builders. Of course, before you would build your builders, and you basically set them up to automate improving tiles, and they go do that, and you would pretty much never interact with them again unless, like, you were approached by barbarians or whatever. This game, it's a bit different. You build them, you take direct control over them, and you can only use a single builder 3 times. So you have to be a little bit more cognizant of things that you're taking advantage of with your builders. So let's head into Kyoto and see if we can actually purchase one. Maybe not. We need 200 gold, so we're a few turns away from that. Perhaps we might actually build builder after the monument is finished. So that bit of research is done. We don't really have any animals to take advantage of animal husbandry. Sailing the wheel, mine a resource. Get okay, so you see kind of like these little things down here. These will boost our research if we do these. So we mine a resource, we'll get a boost to that. Let's see, what can we do? What can we do? Animal husbandry, which unlocks improvement camps and pastures. Astrology is kind of a faith-based thing. Bronze working if we want to get aggressive. Masonry, battering ram, that's kind of neat. For walls, pottery, let's just build a granary. Let's go for pottery and grab our warrior, and we'll actually see if we can bring him down to attack this barbarian settlement. The city-states might actually take care of these guys for us, actually. And it looks like they have, which is kind of a bummer because I would have liked the bonus from defeating those guys. That's okay. We'll live with it. So Kyoto should be one more turn away from producing our monument, and we'll set our warrior down here to continue their exploration. And okay, so we finished building the monument, and you can see it right there. It's very, very Washington monument-y. So we're not really in a state where we need to build defensive units right now. So let's build ourselves a builder. How come we can't build a settler? Because we need 2 population. Okay, so we'll set up to build a builder, and we shall call him Bob the Builder, and the children will rejoice. Or probably not. So our exploration will continue, and like any kind of 4X game, the start of the game's a bit slow. You know, you set up, you find out where you are, you find out what resources you can exploit around you, and you find out who your friends are and who your enemies are as well.
Enacting new policies in our government can be of great benefit.
Oh,
Our people await your decree.
okay, thank you, Iris. So yeah, we finished this kind of policy research track. So let's take a look at this screen.
It is not wisdom, but authority. It is not wisdom. It is not
Okay,
wisdom.
I'll stop that
but
again.
authority. that makes
Thomas
the law.
Hobbes. Okay, so you see, unlocked by the Civic, you got like these shields and these kind of diamonds. Well, this will bring us to this policy screen, and what we can do, we can kind of set up kind of our own policy, how we feel things should run. So we have a survey which doubles experience for recon units. We don't have any recon units. Discipline +5 strength and fighting barbarians. That's probably the more useful one for us right now. So you have to line up the colors basically. The red goes in the red. The yellow goes into the yellow. I guess that's kind of a yellow. And yeah, there's a couple more policies that you can unlock as the game progresses. +1 faith and +1 gold in the capital, that might be good, or +1 production. Let's go with production. That seems better for the long term for me. Perhaps I'm wrong about that, but it's a plan anyway. So, okay, here's kind of the next couple things we could research in terms of policy. There's a civic tree, so you start out with code of laws. You don't have any kind of control over that initial one. So we could do craftsmanship and foreign trade, and that allows us to unlock like a couple of extra different policies, and it allows us to establish a joint war. So it does affect gameplay as well. So we will want to... What's probably the most useful thing for us? Locks policies and to boost improved 3 tiles. Discover. Okay, let's go with trade. Trade's a good way to boost money in the Civ games, so at least they have been in the past. So I do, or well, I would like any bonus that I could garner from that, especially since we have Toronto down here and we can trade. With Toronto. Perhaps we'll trade diamonds for maple syrup or something like that. Yes, the Canadian stereotype. Maple syrup, moose, mounties, whatever. I can make that because I'm actually Canadian. City needs food. They have no food. Focus. Okay. Well, so they're kind of tapped out in terms of what they have. Let's go to manage citizens. So we have one guy working this tile, and yeah, you're working that, but the extra gold is nice, but it's no good if people are starving. No, I want you up there. No, you go here. No. Okay, can I undo this? Unlock. Okay, can I lock you? We'll put you there. And, whoop, no, there. Unlock you. Okay, that seems to work for me a little better.
Signy is a 250 square mile tiger trap made up on massive obelisks, riddled with jagged spears. And yes, they will cut your pretty face.
Okay, that's a natural wonder that I've discovered, and that's the first time that they've been narrated, as far as I remember, in terms of civilization. You've come across them before. But yeah, Sean Bean there, providing some narration. Discovering a natural wonder has inspired your people with the majesty of the universe. Knowledge of astrology has in advance. That's cool. We have found another tribal village, so we'll set our warriors to head there. And okay, I just want to make sure that we're still growing. Yes, okay, it's going to take us 11 turns. Good. All right, and okay, we haven't hit 200 yet, so that means I can't put out that builder. And we do have barbarians at our doorstep. Now, Civ 4, you were able to kind of bombard these guys. Is that a possibility now? Are they too far away? How does this work? Okay, let's grab our warrior. We'll send him back up here. Problem is, I'm going to miss out perhaps on that tribal village by doing this, but I do need to defend my city. They have like a phatic cow.
No man ever wetted
their
clay
logo.
and then left it, as if there would be bricks by chance and fortune.
Okay, very poetic. So pottery's done. Let's see, what would be useful for us now? Irrigation allows us to clear marshes. There's a marsh up there. And hanging gardens, increasing growth by 15%. Cities must be built next to a river. That seems like it may be useful for us, and we do have that research bonus already, so we will research irrigation, and we will head to our next turn. And we do have our warriors approaching the scout. He's got a dog. He's got a doggo. Sorry, I'm going to have to kill your master, but Sid Meier wills it. Okay, so we're at turn 19 right now. We're still kind of in the ancient past in terms of the timeline. We have passed that 200 gold mark, so I will first attack the guy and his doggo. It's the remake of what is it? A boy and his dog? Is that the post-apocalyptic thing? Okay, we actually built a builder. I forgot I was doing that. So we will. Well, we're hurting for food right now, so we'll move down here and we'll build the farm. Now pay attention. There's 3 guys there. Bam! One guy grunts and then he disappears. So we have 2 more uses in that builder. That's kind of one of the major differences between the older civs and this one. Let's choose our production. We can build a... I've always pronounced it as granary, but apparently it's granary. So... +1 food and +2 housing. Food and housing may be good since we do seem to have a lack of it around. Our advisor is recommending that we build a settler. Reduces city's population by 1, so we'll be at 3 by the time that's completed, and that will put us back down to 2. I think I'm okay with that, and I wouldn't mind having a second city to manage at this point. Because it's just us in Toronto right now. You know, we're hanging out because, you know, historically Japan and Toronto were trading and everything back in the ancient era. No, that's not true. Please don't write a history paper or anything on me saying that, because it is emphatically untrue. So we do have our farm there, so that's an extra bit of food. And let's start mining our diamonds. And that should produce some extra resources for us. We do have a bit of copper around as well. So we are chasing the boy and his doggo here. Okay, they're kind of running away. I'm fine with that. I'm going to go back to this tribal village. What is that? Rice. A city down here may be a good step, especially if I put them by this river here. That may be where we send our first settlers. So let's build a mine that will increase our production. And you can see, remember when I was looking at my science, there was the wheel there, and apparently if we built a mine that would get boosted, and that has in fact happened. Take a look at our research. 3 turns away from irrigation and 3 turns away from foreign trade. That's good. Once that gets completed, I may see if I can build myself a caravan and start trading with Toronto and see what kind of benefits we can get from that. Oh, we do have barbarians at our gate once again. So I'll pull my builder back in because I'm not sure if they can still get captured like they could in the past. And we will have to grab our warrior again and send him back to defend Kyoto. Next turn. And we've met Pedro II of the Brazilian Empire. Good day, it's an honor to meet you in person. No, they don't have him voiced anymore. Seems great minds do attract each other after all. Would you like to visit our nearby city and sample our hospitality? Yes, you have my gratitude, because I'm a friendly dude. After meeting another civilization, you see the need for new ways to communicate, and so our knowledge of writing has advanced. Cool, so it's going to be easier for us to research writing. So where is Pedro here on the map? Do I get a view of his city? I guess he's up here somewhere. We do have our builder, so okay, their scout has been driven off by their scout. Their scout's a doggo. So we have one more tile improvement. I guess we'll mine for copper. And will you receive our diplomatic delegation in your capital? Sure, that sounds fine with me. I'm going to grab my warriors again because I still want to visit this tribal village. Oh, come on.
Thousands have lived without love. Thousands have lived without love. Thousands have
Okay,
lived
I'll stop
without
that.
love.
Again.
Not one without
So,
love.
okay, we can do plantations now, and we can build the hanging
That's the
gardens
positive
if we
aspect
do.
of trade, I suppose. The world gets stirred
Okay,
up
and
together.
our civic has completed, so let's change our we can change our policies. Nothing here really tickles my my fancy. I could enact this and get a little bit of extra gold from trade, but I don't think I need to do that right now. So, since we can build ourselves a caravan, see if we can buy one. Trader. Okay, and let's choose our research. We do have a boost to astrology and the wheel. The wheel will allow us to build a water mill, which generates extra food because we're next to a river. I think we may do that. And of course, barbarians have showed up at our gates again. Okay, warrior. Sigh. Maybe I should build myself a secondary military unit so I'm not pulling my warrior back constantly. So we have craftsmanship, improve 3 tiles, early empire, allows you to grow, no, that's the boost. Land surveyors, and colonization, and open borders. Let's go to early empire. I like the idea of that. I like the sound of empire, the Empire of Japan. Like that would ever be a thing. Yes, I know it was a thing. I'm kidding. Being, I don't know, is it facetious or pedantic? I'm not sure the correct word you would use for that. I want to keep my builder back here. And we're going to trade with Toronto. That's going to give us an extra bit of production. It's going to get us some food and, of course, all that delicious
In addition
maple
to
syrup.
bringing riches to our civilization, this trade route will gradually develop roads between our cities. Roads allow our units to no longer be impaired by the difficult terrain through which they pass.
Okay, so that's another difference between previous civilizations and this one. Before, you could pretty much build roads wherever you pleased. With this game, they get built through trade routes. And your trade route directly exchanged goods, but a medium of exchange would make trade more flexible. So that has boosted our knowledge of currency, because we have no cash, even though we have diamonds. So let's head to the next turn, and let's bring our warriors up. See if we can attack a boy in his doggo. And we're 9 turns away from that, 16 turns away from that. And Toronto still wants us to build a, what was it, some sort of district. I'll talk about districts a little bit later. So just want to make sure that my warrior is moved up. I'm going to move my builder over here now, since he does have a bit of protection, and I don't know if he can still capture builders like he could in the previous games. I don't really want to find out if I don't have to, so that's why I'm doing this. So let's move the warrior up and chase after that guy. I should explore north as well. So, okay, we're going to build a mine here, and you're going to see that we have this inspiration that has boosted our research towards craftsmanship, and it's boosted our production, so that's good all around. Okay, so we should be able to pump out stuff pretty quick because we do have extra production here and extra production here. We're going to lose a population here now in a single turn because our settler should be coming out soon. And I think I'm going to build him probably here. It's going to be lots of food. There's some resources that we can span out and take advantage of. So that seems to be the ideal spot for me. I don't know if there are more ideal spots in terms of how Civ 6 works. I can't remember if they still give you recommendations on actually where you should build a city. I know in previous games it would kind of pop up tiles. Okay, yeah, so recommend location. So I think I shall... Okay, let's build it on the salt. Okay, so we can go with the granary. I may build a slinger though, just for peace of mind, being able to defend our city. It's so yeah, these guys are new. I don't remember slingers being in the previous games, but they're an ancient ranged unit. Before, in the other games, you'd always have to research archery, and that would allow you to produce that first range unit. But yeah, I think I may produce a slinger, and that's going to allow us to produce that in 4 turns, which isn't all that bad. I'm willing to spend the time to do it just for that peace of mind. You can see our trader moving down here, and you see the road kind of snaking down Toronto, the 401 in southern Ontario. I don't know if anyone's ever driven that who would watch any of these videos, but that's quite an interesting spot to drive. Unit needs orders, so we're still kind of chasing this guy, and it seems like there's another city-state here. Hello to you. We don't have any envoys, I don't believe. Nope. They do have a quest. Construct a holy site, and they are villainous. Not sure who they are or who they're based on. So let's continue heading this way and get up on this hill. That will give us a little bit of an extra visibility. Our settlers are still slowly making their way down here. There's Mercury. Gonna buy me a Mercury and cruise it on down the road. Okay, so so far I think this game is going pretty good for us. It's only turn 32 at this point, but we haven't been swamped. We haven't been overwhelmed. Geez, there is still barbarians down here. Hopefully our settlers can outrun them. I don't know if the settlers can still be captured as well. But that's why it's sometimes good to have some extra military units around. An unmet player has finished building Stonehenge. So that means that they're working kind of towards a faith-based civilization. And we do have our slinger done. Buy the Hanging Gardens, increase growth 50% in all cities. That might be good. Or we could just build the granary, which will only take us 6 turns. So that's Iris's recommendation. So let's do that. The slinger. Okay, I'm going to get you to fortify here. And the warrior will continue chasing this guy. should be a settlement or a barbarian encampment that this guy's coming from, actually. So we may need to build a couple military units to take care of that. Yes, the looks like
Don't
tuna.
reinvent.
Traditional Toronto tuna fishery.
Just
You know,
realign it.
blocked by this tech. So we now have the wheel.
Don't reinvent the wheel.
We have a watermill that we can
Just
build,
realign
and a chariot, a heavy chariot. Don't even have light chariots; they're all heavy. What are they making them out of? Writing, which allows us to start to push science. I've always, I always like doing the science victory, so let's start working towards that. A unit needs orders. Okay, so he is ready to build. So we will build Fukuoka? Fukuoka? I don't know. I don't speak Japanese. I don't pretend that I can speak Japanese. I'm sorry if you are Japanese and I completely butchered that for you. Okay, so she is recommending that we build a monument for culture. Granary might be good in the long run for expanding our city quicker. And we still have our warrior chasing this guy, and contact with other city-states to crystallize your ideas, governing your own people. We have progressed towards political philosophy. Oh, it's Jerusalem. Hello to Jerusalem. We got kind of a, is that like a lion or a tiger? It's a neat logo, though. What's their quest? Recruit a great general. Yes, there are still great people in the game, and I'm honestly still a little bit fuzzy on how you actually go about recruiting them. So maybe I'll discover that and we'll explore that together as this game progresses. We finally hunted down that scout. That's good for us. Now we have to kind of pull back and attack these guys. See if they can, our slingers can actually hit this guy, because he's, well, he's at our gates, literally. To quote, was it Chris Traeger? Is that the name of the guy from Parks and Rec? Guy played by Rob Lowe, who, I keep mentioning this, but that man has not aged since Wayne's World, the first Wayne's World, and it's kind of freaky. Kind of scares me. I wonder what he's doing to keep his youthful appearance. He's probably doing like all sorts of crunches and eating probiotics or something like that. I'm not sure. Anyway, so we do have our slinger. Can we hit that guy? No. We can move over, though. Can we attack him now? No. Brazil, who I still haven't discovered. They're kind of hanging around. Hopefully they'll attack that scout too. Our trade dude is coming back, or caravan. I think they're just called a trader in this game, though. And Fukuoka, they're doing their own thing. Let's continue chasing this guy, I guess. Okay, let's go for watermill. I like the idea of having that extra production. And yeah, this city is going to take a while before it will be able to do anything much useful, it seems.
We have recently gained advanced knowledge in city planning. Creating districts in our cities can be much more powerful and lucrative than simple improvements like farms and mines.
Okay, Iris, thank you very much. So yes, that's another addition to Civilization 6, is districts. And districts, the way I've kind of interpreted it from playing, is that you build them, and then you are able to build buildings in those districts based on kind of what the districts are. So you build like a campus district that will allow you to build science-based stuff like libraries and universities, or you can build a encampment, which allows you to build things like military units, barracks, and stuff like that. So
Writing is easy. Writing is easy. Writing is
okay,
easy.
I'll stop that.
All you have to do is cross out the wrong words.
There you go. Thank you very much, Sean Bean and Mark Twain. So we've unlocked libraries, and we have unlocked campuses. So let's change our research now. We can go for astrology and kind of go for a faith-based thing. But I like money and science, so let's go for currency. And that, in fact, is the name of my new rap album, Money and Science by Durinde. So we're at turn 40 now, and taking a look at our handy time stamp thing there. I think I'm actually going to wrap things up for this episode here. If you liked what you saw today, please like and subscribe. It means a big deal. I do enjoy producing these videos, and I do enjoy your feedback. So I will stop things here. Have a great day.